So Meghan is in many ways the smoking gun, but Harry's brought this on himself.
She reportedly told him he needs to start earning some dough, not diplomatically, not as a gentle suggestion between equal partners navigating a difficult period together. According to reports from sources close to the situation, Meghan Markle looked at her husband, the former Prince Harry, and told him plainly that his lack of financial contribution to their shared brand was becoming a serious problem. And that apparently is just the beginning of what she reportedly said.
Now, Meghan Markle, she is reportedly facing a $5 million crisis for her brand as ever. Meghan Markle is looking at a deadline to move all her jams, teas, and flour sprinkles jars, before they are no longer sellable.
She is the one driving the business deals, managing the brand, thinking about the future, and she is tired of feeling like the only one focused on money. That is the picture being painted by sources close to the couple right now, and it lands in the middle of a situation that keeps getting worse by almost every measurable standard. A $5 million product expiry crisis with the As Ever brand, a Netflix relationship that has effectively ended, a favorability ranking that places Meghan above Sean Diddy Combs, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Ellen DeGeneres on most disliked celebrity lists.
Has revealed that Meghan has said to Harry, you've got to start earning some dough. Because, of course, we know that Meghan is a very ambitious person. She's quite enterprising. She's got the As Ever brand. She's got her TV contracts. And the impression we're getting from their Montecito mansion is that Harry's lazy. He's swinging the lead. He's not pulling his weight. And he thinks that he can just be a global citizen and a philanthropist. Problem with that, Paul, it doesn't pay the mortgage.
The Prince Harry and Meghan Markle has followed a strikingly steady course. Years after exiting royal life, the Sussexes continue to dominate most disliked celebrities lists. 2025 Rankers list places Meghan Markle firmly at number one ahead of figures like Sean Diddy Combs, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Ellen DeGeneres. Prince Harry remains close behind, keeping both Sussexes at the top or in the top 5.
And Harry apparently sitting in row 8 at the NBA Finals, while Timothée Chalamet and Ben Stiller were courtside. Welcome to the Marquee Report. This is the story of how the Sussex brand went from $100 million Netflix deal to a blame game playing out behind closed doors in Montecito, and what it reveals about where they actually are right now. Let's establish the actual commercial picture first, because the numbers tell a story that no amount of press management can fully reframe. The Netflix deal, reported at around $100 million, did not produce the long-term impact many expected.
Netflix has officially cut ties with Meghan Markle's polarizing lifestyle brand As Ever, in a fresh blow to the Duchess's ambitions for the company. Kinsey, the streaming service has issued a statement as artificially soothing as Markle's voice on her 2-season show with Love Meghan. But there's no other way to spin it, is there? She and Harry have been a massive disappointment for Netflix.
Some projects attracted attention, but received mixed reviews. Others were eventually quietly cancelled. The production deal was downgraded to a first-look arrangement and then expired without renewal. 2 seasons of a lifestyle show. No 3rd season announced. No statement. Just silence. The As Ever lifestyle brand is reportedly facing a $5 million crisis. Products, jams, teas, flour, sprinkles, chocolates, are apparently sitting in storage, approaching their sellable expiry dates. A brand built on the promise of California wellness and Meghan's curated domestic aesthetic has a deadline attached to its inventory that nobody in the communications team appears to know how to spin. The Spotify deal, $20 million for 13 episodes, ended with the head of podcast innovation calling them grifters on the record. That word came from the man whose company had signed the check. And public opinion polling in 2025 placed Meghan firmly at number 1 on multiple most disliked celebrities lists. Not number 5, not a mid-table entry, number 1, ahead of figures whose names are associated with genuine criminal allegations. That is the commercial and reputational landscape against which the reported blame game is now playing out. And understanding that landscape is essential to understanding why the conversation about whose fault it all is has apparently become so heated inside their Montecito home. Here is where the reports become specific in ways that deserve careful examination. Because the accusations being described are not vague frustrations. They are documented characterizations from sources describing a specific and apparently escalating pattern. Reports claim Meghan now places much of the responsibility for their declining public standing on Harry. She reportedly believes he has not made the most of his royal connections, that his public profile, which remains the single most commercially valuable asset they possess, is being systematically squandered through passivity and an apparent preference for a quiet life over relentless brand promotion. From Meghan's reported perspective, the Sussex brand was always fundamentally built on two things: her entertainment and business credentials, plus his royal heritage. One of those things she can control, the other she cannot. And the one she cannot control is apparently the one she is most frustrated with right now. Reports suggest Meghan believes every public appearance should be maximized, every high-profile event should be approached as a branding opportunity. Every interaction with the public or with influential figures should be used to keep them visible, relevant, and commercially viable. Harry, by contrast, appears more comfortable with a quieter, more private approach, attending events he finds interesting rather than attending events strategically selected for maximum camera exposure, not pushing for premium positioning at every occasion, simply existing in the world without the relentless optimization of every moment. If both characterizations are accurate, and they come from sources rather than confirmed statements, the fundamental tension between those two approaches to public life is not a minor disagreement. It is a philosophical incompatibility that touches every decision they make together. Here is the specific incident that apparently crystallized the tension most visibly, because it turned a general philosophical disagreement into a concrete public humiliation that sources say Meghan found deeply frustrating. Harry attended the NBA Finals in San Antonio as a guest of the league commissioner. Timothée Chalamet was courtside. Ben Stiller was courtside. Harry was in row 8. Sources exclusively told commentators that Meghan was livid about this. She was not happy at all. Not because Harry had done something wrong exactly, but because in her reported view, the contrast between his placement and the placement of other celebrities communicated something publicly that she did not want communicated. The royal title still carries public interest. The Sussex brand still trades on that heritage. And sitting in row 8 while rising Hollywood stars sit courtside tells a story about status and relevance that no press statement can easily counter. Reports even claimed Meghan wished she had been there herself, believing she would have handled the situation differently. That particular detail says a great deal. Not that she wished she could have enjoyed the game with her husband, that she wished she could have managed the optics better than he did. Harry apparently watched the basketball. He seemed comfortable. He was not particularly interested in being seen watching the basketball. He was interested in watching the basketball. That contrast between his comfort with simply being present and her apparent frustration with how being present was perceived is the entire dynamic in one episode. Let's talk about the $5 million product crisis, because it deserves more attention than it has received, and it connects directly to the broader commercial picture. The As Ever brand launched with significant fanfare. Meghan positioned it as a premium lifestyle offering built around her personal aesthetic. California-influenced domestic elegance packaged beautifully and priced at a premium that assumed significant consumer enthusiasm. The original brand name American Riviera Orchard was rejected by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office because it referred to her hometown of Montecito, and geographic locations cannot be trademarked. The rebrand to As Ever was not a creative evolution, it was a legal emergency. Website traffic reportedly peaked and then declined. April 2026 figures showed 178,000 visitors, down from earlier months. Critics who understand e-commerce mathematics quickly calculated the implications. Standard conversion rates of 1 to 2% applied to those visitor numbers produce sales figures that cannot sustain premium brand infrastructure. Products have expiry dates. The jams, teas, chocolates, and flour sprinkles apparently approaching their sellable window, an estimated $5 million in inventory potentially facing write-off. Netflix, which had invested as an equity partner in As Ever, pulled out of the equity arrangement. The lifestyle show did not receive a third season. The brand was built on the foundation of Meghan's public persona, and that public persona, sitting at number 1 on multiple most disliked lists, is not currently a commercial foundation that moves specialty food products. Here is where the full picture requires balance, because while the reports frame Meghan as the one directing blame at Harry, the public record of how they arrived at this point implicates both of them equally. Harry wrote spare. He described his family as being trapped in a cage. He claimed royal life was psychologically damaging. He gave the Oprah interview. He signed the Netflix deal. He made the Spotify deal. He was present for every decision that generated the public backlash that damaged both their reputations simultaneously. Meghan is apparently frustrated that Harry is not pulling his commercial weight right now. But the commercial environment they are operating in was largely created by decisions both of them made together. Decisions that generated short-term revenue and long-term reputational damage that is still playing out. As one commentator put it directly, he brought this on himself. The public image that is now making it difficult to sit courtside at the NBA Finals was built from choices Harry made with full agency. Nobody forced him to write a memoir describing his family in terms that made him the least popular member of the royal family rather than the most popular. The argument that Meghan is more responsible than Harry, or that Harry is more responsible than Meghan for where they currently find themselves, misses the more important observation. They made these choices together. They are experiencing the consequences together. And the reported blame game playing out behind closed doors in Montecito does not change the external reality either of them is navigating. Here is the honest assessment of where the Sussex brand sits right now, stripped of spin from either direction. The Netflix relationship has effectively ended. Spotify ended publicly and humiliatingly. WME dropped Meghan. BetterUp has reportedly not involved Harry in any meaningful capacity since 2024. The As Ever brand is facing an inventory crisis. Public opinion polling is more negative than at any previous point. Harry was not invited to his own cousin's wedding, while Andrew's daughters attended. Charles has not scheduled a meeting. William changed his phone number. Against that backdrop, the reports of internal tension are not surprising. What is perhaps surprising is that it has taken this long for the reported blame game to surface publicly. Some royal commentators have speculated about separation or divorce. Those claims are unverified and remain firmly in the realm of speculation. What is verifiable is the commercial and reputational picture, and that picture does not suggest a brand in recovery. It suggests a brand in managed decline, trying to identify a path to stabilization that neither party has yet found. Here is where everything stands right now. Meghan Markle is reportedly frustrated with Harry's commercial passivity. Harry appears to prefer a quieter life than Meghan believes their situation requires. The As Ever brand has a $5 million inventory deadline approaching. Netflix is gone. The most disliked celebrities list has their names near the top. Row 8 at the NBA Finals, while other celebrities sat courtside. The couple who left the royal family to build something independent on their own terms are 6 years into that project. The financial and reputational results of those 6 years are documented and public. Whether the reported blame game reflects a genuine marriage in crisis or simply the ordinary friction of two people under extraordinary external pressure, the external pressure itself is not improving. And the question that nobody has yet asked Harry or Meghan directly remains the most relevant one. Do you regret it? Not which of you is more responsible for where you are, but whether you would make the same choices again, knowing what those choices have cost. That answer would tell you everything the blame game cannot. This has been the Marquee Report. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss what comes next. See you on the next one.